the gender equality and women's empowerment. Despite the fact that the big man and I walk parallel paths, I can never fail to acknowledge and thank him and his bushfighters for coming here with the woman question high up on their agenda. At least that time, it was high up on the agenda. And I can assure you, they said, women, where are you? That's where some of us who were locked in a cage came out and were unstoppable. And when you compare it, because I keep telling people I'm not the founder of the women's movement. I'm not the mother. I am a daughter of the women's movement. The mothers were the late Mpangas, late Karema, Florence, all those Bambe, the late people who have gone, and my sister Cecilia, and a few ones. Those, they were the mothers of the women's movement. By the time independence came, they struggled. They participated in delivering independence here. And some of them were even in the council. But down the road, the political environment went astray, and therefore, that was the end of their participation and work. And so the environment was closed, and so women were nowhere. Let me tell you, 40 years ago, whether you love Museveni or you don't, we should give credit where it is due. Because where were women? Woman, there is even a function, there is a woman calling women, or whether they are talking about women or what. Nowhere. Women were existing, they were unseen, they were not audible. Completely, we were like, we are nowhere. But when this man came and said, women, where are you? With this affirmative action, by the way, it was not brought by the Constitution. The Constitution came in and endorsed it. But when these people from the bush reached here, they came with that special position for a woman. And if you can allow me, I will tell you, because I asked, because I was interested, why President Museveni created the position for Secretary for Women's Affairs was from a practical experience which he saw. Women went into the bush and they were doing so much. They were feeding these men, they were treating them, they were doing everything just as much as we do as usual. But we are not recognized. But this time, because they were with them in the bush there, they could see the role they were playing. They could see they were really indispensable. When this man came here, was saying even women were more honest. I must finish. When you call Matembe now, you send her a note. Okay, what was I going to say now? He has disturbed me. I will only, I have commended your book already, because that's why I'm here. But the reason why I'm talking what I'm talking is from where I listened to you, and I saw, really, this is not serious. And I want to thank that woman of Wachiso, because there was no woman going to Russia or Libya or all these women in the economy. All these women in the economy were not there. The women, we started even by putting 1.5. The women, the girls going to the university, how many were there? And which courses were they studying? Let me tell you, when I go to these mansions, you saw these storied buildings. Have you visited them to find the smaller girls who are the engineers, who are the architects? You look at them, you say, my goodness, let me tell you, even if I die today, I will die knowing that in Uganda, women came on a journey, and we have really achieved a lot through that journey. If you don't want to know that, you wouldn't be here even. You wouldn't be in those dresses, Simanye, the shoes, they're wonderful. Would you be there? Because other governments were there. What is government was there? I mean, it's government, you know what it did to us. No wig, no mini skirt, no what, no nothing. Please, I want to tell you young women and men, at least read our books and know the history of how affirmative action came. I was going to tell you why he brought it because he acknowledged what women were doing. I was told that one day when these people in the bush robbed the bank, they got some money. When they got some money, they called the command. Is it command? What was that thing? Those who used to sit and discuss what should be. The high command. They called the high command. And Mchara Njuba used to sit there because she was taking care of His Excellency. Now they discussed on how to allocate the resources. They allocated, and Madame Njuba could not speak. There was no single woman in that meeting, despite the fact that women were there supporting. Now when they had left, it says, Njuba said, but you know, sir, some of this money could have been allocated to sanitary towels. You get it? Imagine in the bush without sanitary towels. The president said, what? By the way, you people, how have you been surviving? And the lesson that came out of this was, these women are doing a lot. They're as good as we are, but there are some ideas or some things which affect or concern them which we men don't know, and therefore we cannot take them on board in taking decisions. Therefore, let us have the women nominate their people to represent them on these decisions. When we are making them, then they bring those things at that table. That's how it came. You see? Otherwise, the men alone, as they decide, as they do what? They have their own mind. There are things which they see differently, and there are concerns which they don't know. A woman is pregnant, you don't know, she starts vomiting. Why are you vomiting here? And that kind of thing. They don't know. And it had to be women who know. So it was realized that women's decision, women's brain must be added onto men's brain in order to make proper decisions.